What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Black Ops 6 video. Guys, I want to get away from some of the negativity today, okay? A lot of people are talking negative about Call of Duty, about the delay, about everything like that. I just want to go into my settings. I updated literally every setting I could for control settings, and I think this is so much better. This is going to make your aim a lot stickier, so stick around, guys. You're going to like these ones. Your aim is going to be insane. Your accuracy is going to glue onto enemies, and you will drop them easily. Alright, so getting straight into it, guys. If you guys could drop a like on this one, I would truly appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on, guys. A like just helps push this video out in the algorithm, helps more people see it, and hopefully a lot of people could get better accuracy and stuff as well. So we're gonna get straight into these settings. I want to go like right up all into controller. We're gonna go into some, I guess, graphics. It's gonna help a little bit. Actually, let's start off with the graphics just to show you guys what I'm talking about. We're gonna go over to the view section here, and I put my field of view up. I usually play at 100, I'll be honest with you guys, but I feel like if I put it up to 110, I feel faster in game. I know for a fact I'm not faster, but it feels faster, and the faster I could feel, the more unstoppable I feel, if that makes sense. So I put it up to 110, and I have been playing a lot better. My ADS field of view, I leave it at independent. The reason for this is because it brings in that iron sight, or whatever sight you're using, it brings it in a lot nicer, and the enemies get a lot closer to your screen, so I like that a lot. And then I switched my weapon field of view from narrow to wide, and just because I know it takes up more of my screen, but it just makes me, with the higher field of view, it makes me feel a lot faster, alright? That's basically it. That's the one thing. Now, I got world motion blur and weapon motion blur off. I do normally recommend weapon motion blur on, but we don't have to do that, alright? We can turn it off. It's all good. Don't worry about that right there. And then that's going to be it in terms of view. There's not much else to change here. There's really not much else you can do here. But let's get into the controller settings itself, because this is where I changed a lot of things. And then I'll show you guys some audio settings too that are going to help you hear enemies a lot better. So first off, in the controller settings, I'm obviously going to play on a custom button layout, and the reason for this is because I love R3 and L3 for jumping and sliding, alright? I want to jump and all that kind of stuff with R3, and I want to slide and all that kind of stuff with L3. This way I never have to remove my fingers from my joysticks. Now, if you have back paddles, just keep this normal. You don't have to change these. But if you don't have back paddles, this is what you want to play with. It's going to take a few days probably to get used to, but then you'll never go back to playing with X and O if you're on a PlayStation controller, for example. Maybe A and B on Xbox, I'm not sure. So that's what I have right there, and I also got my tactical sprint assist set on. So my sprint assist is set to tactical sprint assist. The minute I move up, I don't have to press L3 or anything, I just gotta move it, and I'm gonna start sprinting, alright? So I like that a lot. And then all of this stuff right here I have off. I don't like these on. I find it messes me up a lot in gameplay and whatnot. There's no reason to turn these on, alright? And then the slide dive behavior, I have tap to slide because it just feels the nicest. I don't know if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm not over diving a lot. I'm not doing a lot of weird stuff anyways. And then I got these all on. So automatic airborne mantle I have on, which I normally have off, and I recommend having it off, but I find just because I'm running around like crazy and stuff, I don't want to move my thumbs or anything from anything, so it just feels better, if that makes any sense. Sprint restore we got on, and sprint, or slide maintain sprint I should say, we have that on as well, so you could go back into your sprint after sliding, then you're really fast, alright, so it's cool. Mantle cancels reload, we have that off because we don't want that reload to cancel. If we're down at 0, we do not want to get back into a gunfight with 0. Movement advanced settings, you guys could go change a bunch of stuff here. Honestly, I don't think I changed anything, alright? So if you want to copy me right there, you guys could go ahead and do it. And then vehicle advanced settings, we're not going to mess with that. We don't really play Warzone on this channel, alright? I barely touch it. But in controller settings and aiming settings, that's what we're going to talk about right now. In the controller settings, I put my horizontal sensitivity and my vertical sensitivity up to 2.10. I played at 1.90 for a long time. I feel like 2.10 is just better. Sensitivity is something that like you gotta feel for yourself. If it feels too fast, you want to lower it. If it feels too high, or too slow I should say, you want to raise it. Alright, so me, 2.10 is really nice. I like that right there. So that's what I'm going to stick to. Controller vibration, I always recommend turning this off. It messes with your accuracy. Do not turn it on, alright? It's going to feel really awkward. Like, I'm talking about really weird if you always play with controller vibration on. But once you turn it off, give it a few games, give it a few days if you have to, and you're never going to turn it back on again. Trigger effect, we got off, and then dead zone inputs. This is something that is really important right here. We're going to get into it, and I switched it up a lot. So normally, my left stick max is always going to be at 5. always, all right, because I have stick drift. I'm not changing my controller. The stick drift isn't too crazy or anything. I've had this controller for years. I love it. It's blue. I like blue, and basically that's it, all right. And then left stick max, I brought it up to 60. I was playing at I was playing at 35 for a long time, but I felt like it wasn't really working out too great. The movement is all right. The lower you go, the quicker it is to sprint and stuff, but we have tactical sprint on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. 60 is good, all right? 60 is really nice. You could play 70 even. It's really nice, all right? But I never recommend playing this all the way at 100, because then you got to use that full joystick. It takes a little longer. It's a little more annoying and stuff. You want precise movement. You want it to be quick. 60 is all right? And then right stick minimum, I always recommend anywhere between 5 and 15, and I used to play at 6. I brought it up to 8, and I have to be honest with you guys. The higher you bring this up, the more accurate you're going to feel in gunfights. And the reason for that is because when you put this down to 0 and you move just a millimeter on your right stick, it's going to fight against aim assist. The higher you put this, which I don't recommend putting it anywhere higher than 15, even 10 is overdoing it sometimes, but the higher you put this in regards of 0 to 15, the more sticky your aim is going to actually be, but the more movement you're going to actually have to do on that joystick to get it to move, all right? So somewhere nice, somewhere in the middle for me is 8. It feels really good. I can move my thumb a little bit during a gunfight and not worry that it's going to fight against aim assist and stuff. So in my opinion, 8 is really nice. And then right stick maximum, you want this up at 100, and the triggers, you want this down to 0, guys, okay? Some people play at the default, which is 13. Don't do that, because then you got to push that trigger in even more just to get it to activate in game, all right? If you're in a gunfight and somebody has this at 0 and you have yours set all the way up to like 50 or something like that, well, you have a 50 millisecond delay, if you want to think of it that way. If you want to think that every push, every little one tick counts as a millisecond, you could. All right, so I wouldn't do it. I would just play at 0. It doesn't really equate. Like 13 isn't actually 13 milliseconds, but it might be like 2 or 3 milliseconds longer for you to start shooting. Bullets come out fast in this game. Bullets go flying. You want to be the first one shooting, all right? So put this down to 0. In the aiming settings, we're going to go to aiming advanced right here, and I'm putting mine to gradual, okay? Gradual is nice because as you begin to ADS, you're going to gradually slow down from your regular sensitivity to your ADS sensitivity, which my ADS sensitivity right now is set to 0.90 and my actual sensitivity is at 210. I want to make sure that when I'm actually aiming on sights, it doesn't instantly, which if you put it to instant, slow down to 0.90, all right? I want it to be gradual. I want it to feel smooth. I want it to feel nice. So that's why I play on gradual, and it brings it down into that nicely. If you put it to instant, the second you press that ADS button, your sensitivity is going to slow down. Your crosshairs are going to mess up, especially if you're looking at them for aiming and stuff. And then if you do after zoom, this is really good actually. If you're really good at aiming, do after zoom. It's actually nice. But gradual right now is really good. And I switched back to dynamic, guys. I put it back to dynamic over linear over standard. Again, I was doing a little more testing. There's not much of a difference between these three, I should say, but in my opinion, dynamic is the best. And then my aim response curve slope scale, I brought it up to 0.70 rather than 0.35. Try out these settings, guys. You're gonna see. Let me know down in the comments below, does it feel better for you? I'm gonna guarantee, like, for 9 out of 10 people, this is going to feel better. But we're gonna get those negative comments, of course, because it's the COD community. It's gonna happen, all right? But anyways, let's move on to audio. Just to show you guys right here, I got my game master volume up at 100, gameplay music volume down. You can put it to 0 if you want. I just like it on a bit because I'm recording. I want to hear a little something in the background, especially for you guys watching the video. It's a little less boring. Dialogue volume and effects, we're gonna put these up to 100. All right, the dialogue is your in-game characters talking to each other, and the effects is basically footsteps, grenades, gunshots, doors, all that kind of stuff. You want this up at 100, all right, 100% of the time. And then we got my, obviously this doesn't really matter. And yeah, I guess that doesn't really matter. Audio mix, we're gonna put it to Sucker Punch, all right? Bass boost is cool, bass boost is nice, but Sucker Punch, for some reason, I feel like I could hear footsteps even further than I do with bass boost right here, okay? So I'm using headphones. Obviously, if you're using headphones, this is what you want. I'm gonna recommend Sucker Punch, all right? You hear those footsteps louder, you hear a lot of stuff a lot nicer. Like the bass is more boosted than bass boost, if that makes sense, okay? And then that's pretty much it right there. Voice chat, we're gonna put it over to 60. We don't want to hear the enemies too much, or our teammates too much. We're just gonna leave it at 60 right there. It seems pretty cool. And then our microphone volume, we're gonna put up to 100 so people could hear us nice and clear. And then I got it to push to talk, just in case anyone joins as I'm recording, like right now. I don't want them to hear me. So I could either put it to push to talk or open mic, or I could just turn it off in general. But I'm just going to leave it at push to talk, and that's it right there. Those are the settings if you guys did enjoy this video. Like I said, if you want to help me get into that algorithm, push me through it, all you got to do is drop a like. I would truly appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Hardpoint active. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Pieces have entered.